Greetings and welcome to AlonzoBash podcast. I'm your host, AlonzoBash, and today's special guest, this brother voice is one of the most recognized voice, I would say, in the music arena, especially in the Caribbean. We know him as well. His mama and papa name him as Edge Hill Thomas, but we know him as currently MX Prime, also known as Magadan, Maximus. How much names do you have, man? But for the
How much names I went by? Currently, it's MX Prime. I went by Maximus Dan previously,
right.
and Magadan when I was around 13, 14, all the way up to 21.
Yes. But welcome.
Yeah, good to be here, man.
Yeah, man. Long time, man. All right, so let's kick it off from the early days, the beginning. So you're born and raised in Coronado, Trinidad?
I was born and raised in Pity Valley.
Okay.
And then I moved to Coronado at the age of maybe 11 or 12.
Okay.
My mom said, all right, we're going to make this move. Obviously, as a kid,
Yeah.
it would be an adjustment because you're going into a new environment, new personnel, a lot of things to get used to. Try to build your life over. Not that your life just started at the age of 11 or 12, but, all that you were accustomed to is all about, making that adjustment. And the family on a whole made that sacrifice. And I would say without making that move, probably we won't be having this conversation today.
Wow. Because, a lot of musical talent came out of Coronado, as you know. A lot of talent came out of Coronado. All right. What was the family structure like? Mom, dad, brothers and sisters?
Like that? The family structure was one where I had a conventional, traditional family at the age, maybe up to the age of 8.
Okay.
And then my mom and my dad went separate ways. So, that would have taken its toll later on in life. Not really at the moment because, most of the time I would have spent with my mom.
Yes.
Right? So it was natural. But when you started getting into your adolescent years, trying to figure out that, you're a boy, and, one day you're going to be a man, and when you look around, you only have sisters.
Yeah.
Right? So you grew up in a house, there's 3 girls, a mom, and then there's you. Right?
You're the only boy?
Yeah, only boy.
Oh, wow.
But in a way, I never really felt like, I'm the only boy, I always had friends that kind of more or less come in as brothers. Right? So if you ask my mom if she were listening today, right, she would tell you that he had a lot of brothers.
Yeah.
They just won by blood. Right? And these people embraced him to help shape him. So I always used to hang out with a lot of older guys.
Yes.
We're talking about 15, 20 years my senior. So, when I am hanging out with my peers, they're like, you don't fit in because you sound way too mature. You don't want to do things that we young boys doing. You're moving by yourself. You're the one who telling us, nah, don't do that. It didn't make no sense. You're the one that you're the conscience in the group.
Yeah, more or less. Reason.
Yeah. You're the one that everyone wants to speak with rather than us because, based on how I used to communicate with my elders. So growing up in that particular environment, 3 girls, a mom, you're the only boy. As soon as I got the opportunity to head out, I did. Meaning that when I got to 15, 16, where I gained a little bit of independence, I never used to be at home. I couldn't be stuck in a home with just ladies around.
Yeah.
That do I look like that kind of individual? I will rough around the edges, and just the way I am. And my sisters are the polar opposite to me. They're real quiet and docile. Don't really say too much. They're not really combative. And I'm the one that always used to stand up, even for them.
Right.
So, as soon as I gained any sort of independence and some responsibility, my mom said, okay, you can't stay home. I must allow you to go out. And with music, that was the avenue. From the time she realized that music was, something that I loved and I was decent at, because she got that from, a lot of people in the community. You
Okay.
know, to and from work, she would be stopped by friends, strangers, and they would say, "So and so is your son."
Yeah.
That guy, he's going places. He has
Yeah.
a beautiful voice, and on top of that, he's very good at communicating with people. He has a lot of manners.
Yeah.
He's very mature for his age. So, you're doing the right thing as a parent. You're raising him well. So that gave her the reassurance for when I asked to go somewhere. It never used to be a no.
Yeah.
You know?
It was a positive vibe it was on.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. So what about the schooling? Primary school, secondary school, stuff like that. What school you attended?
I went to Pity Valley Boys RC School, Roman Catholic school.
Okay.
There I started school choir at the age of 7, all the way up.
Wow.
Yeah. I was in school choir from standard 1 all the way to standard 5.
Okay.
And
Nice.
within that, you learn to project your voice, to find, to find that confidence to sing.
Yeah.
And my primary school teacher, Miss Dukaran, she was the one that said to me in standard 1, "You're gonna be a star one day." So I'm putting in the
Wow.
school choir.
Wow.
When my teacher say these things,
Yeah.
it feel good, but at the time, me being way ahead of my years, like,
Yeah.
let's leave me say, you know, you know, and my choir teacher, which ended up being my standard 5 teacher, Miss Elsa McConney, who I
Okay.
just saw a few months back after maybe about 15, close to 20 years.
That's nice.
She said to me, "We're just extremely proud of you because
Yeah.
I saw the potential, and you just keep on doing your thing."
Yeah.
So from primary school, I went to Diego Martin Junior Secondary.
Okay.
Very, very colorful experience. In those days, we're talking about the early 90s.
Yeah.
Played a little bit of basketball, a little bit of football. And there the talent was recognized, by my peers, in school. They said, "Hey,
Yeah.
you know every dancehall song."
Yeah. Get the cassette.
Yeah, you're like a cassette more or less, right? Why don't you start doing your own music?
Yeah.
And I thought about it for a little bit, and then I said, okay.
Mhm.
And everyone had a little notebook where they used to jot down lines and create music, and it started from there.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So where you got the name Magadan? How that name came about?
Well, that happened based on physique, and everybody used to say Dan is a general.
Yeah.
So they used to call me Edgy Dan because of my name being Edgil,
Okay.
right? So that was the whole name. So everybody said, "Oh, Edgy, everything good?"
Yeah.
And based on that, it moved from Edgy to Maga. And up to this day, people still call me that when I go to Carradage, because it's a home name. And then from that, I transitioned to Maximus Dan because of the gladiator influence and the meaning of Maximus being greatest or greatness.
Yes.
And you know the rest. You know the rest in terms of the current name.
Yeah. Like I said, when we first started, we interviewed back in, I think you said it was 2017 when he came to the DMV area. And at that time, with radio, it was more so promo, so we didn't really get time to reason and get into your whole life story. All right. So you mentioned I want to touch base on the names again because you're probably the only artist that I know. I would probably say in the Caribbean that has changed or has evolved in so many. Martial art did it, but he never really changed his name completely like you did, And it's like each time you change your name, it's like a different level to your music. So I'm gonna keep it a little bit again with Magadan.
Right.
I want to start how you because I interviewed KMC a while back, and you had mentioned back then you were one of the guys too that was under that. I want to say camp, but you used to do work.
Yeah, I used to work with KMC a lot because KMC and I met at the Caribbean Sound Basin, which was the Kiskadee Caravan headquarters.
Yes.
And I met him when I was 17 years of age.
Okay.
We hit it off. And everywhere he went, I went. You know, it was always like that big brother, little brother scenario. You know, he would encourage me to keep singing. He would keep me updated on anything that he was doing, anything that he was producing in the studio, you know, where he would be performing. And up to this day, we good like that. We may not be in contact like every day, right? Because, you know, life carries you on different journeys. But every time we meet, you know, there's always a love and a respect, because KMC would have been one of the few people who would have come to my house personally, met with my mom, you know, express how talented I was at the time, and that he would do his best to take care of me. So in those days, you know, it was all about being the best you could be, iron sharpen iron. You know, when you're coming up in those years, you know, where you're trying to find a space in this entertainment business, you know, any opportunity you get, you're going to take it. We didn't have these platforms where we could broadcast to billions of people at a time. You would have had to get up early. If you live in South, take 2 or 3 maxi or taxi, right? Depending on how deep South you are, right?
And then for
Come to town.
But where you live in Canada to where KMC live, that's a good ride, isn't it?
Yeah. But KMC always was a, you know, he taught me without teaching me how to be a road dog. How to hit the road and get results. Because he would have moved from Rio Claro and come to Lavantil, right? Because he knew that Port of Spain and environment would have been the hub. You understand what I'm saying? So he wanted to be in a central location, and that in itself inspired me to say, well, you're not living that far from Port of Spain, right? You're not living far from the radio stations, the television stations, the music hub. So you can't be lazy, right? There are people who sacrificing, you know, a lot to be in this music business. So when you get that opportunity, you take it. So the Magadan years were still heavily influenced by that dancehall era, because remember, coming up in the 90s, you would have had the Buju Banton, you know, the Tabarans, the Capleton, the Ninja Man, Super Cat, you know, and a host of others, Bounty Killer, Beanie Man. And we were inspired by those acts. And still are, in a sense, based on, you know, the music, the message, the fashion. There were so many different things, you know. Also, there are the song clash culture that we followed with the King Addies, Tony Matara, the Stone Love, you know, Bass Odyssey. So I when I go into, people understand why I sound the way I song and I sing the way I sing. Because my experience was different. There are other people who their influences would have been more, you know, on the calypso side or the soca side. You know, I came from a different, you know, sound, a different vibe, you know, and it's just like wearing clothes to fit your personality. I listen to music to fit my personality. It was nothing against, you know, your own culture or anything like that. My personality is this. I always knew I would have had a dreadlocks. It was just some that just fit my personality, right? So that is how my music sounds and sounded at the time, right? And within that, you know, we did a lot of good music, you know, KMC and myself.
You got some, you know, one of my favorites is the concubine rhythm, man. You know,
man.
Don't break
your neck. Yeah. Silent Star, a wicked track on that as well. You know, Dennis Belfort. That was a big rhythm. And before that was the voodoo rhythm where they Obia Man on. So those years were some great years, because it showed a lot of artists, you know, to come. You know, the many artists behind us who were listening, and there were kids coming up. They said to themselves, we got into the business based on the influence you all had or continue to have, right? And how you manipulated Caribbean sounds and created that balance, you know, in this new style of music. You know, you call it raga soca, you call it fusion, whatever you call it. You know, we made sense of it because we love music so much that we were willing to implement and experiment.
Yes. Yeah, that song is definitely unique, man. I definitely, and like you said, back in the 90s, that as you say, they call it raga soca, that influence with dancehall and soca. And one thing you and KMC have a lot in common is the art of storytelling. I mean, when you guys pen a song, you can actually visualize, the whole scenario was taking place in the song.
We try our best,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So in 1997, rather, you teamed up with Danny Browne, and I understand you on the flirty rhythm.
Yeah. I went to Jamaica at the age of 18.
Yeah.
This was all put together by my then manager Simon Batiste of Question Mark Entertainment, because he was friends with Danny Browne, Red Rat,
Yeah.
General Green, that whole team.
Yeah,
Right? He toured with them as well.
Okay.
So, him being a Trinidadian touring with Jamaicans,
Yeah.
it's not an uncommon thing now, but back then, it was a big thing.
Yeah.
And you always used to tell them about this group he has in Trinidad that consisted of Diamond Cut, a friend of mine who lives in Central, Precious,
Yes.
Jason Lee, who sang I Want to Get Ahead in Life
Yeah.
back in the day. So it had a nice mixture because everyone had a different influence. Precious used to rap at the time. I used to chat, DJ in the Jamaican type of style. Diamond used to sing more or less like Sanchez and those type of artists.
Yeah.
So it was a real good, unique group. And our aim was not to be like the next Fugees, but following that particular line,
Yeah.
And then September 11, 2001 changed everything.
Yeah.
We were about to hook up some meetings with our label out in New York, and then everything crashed. So within that, a decision was made, by management and the artists. Well, this is going to be on pause. So what are we going to do? And I said to them, well, I'm going to continue singing. I'm going to continue composing, writing, and working on the local landscape. Because, okay, if this dream wasn't achieved, it's not going to stop me from, one, keeping the dream alive, and two, working with the talents that you have. Because even at that time, I knew that I wasn't normal. I wasn't someone that just going to stick to one genre, because I came up doing different form of music. Remember, I started in the school choir. In the school choir, you have to sing parang, soca, calypso, folk music, right? All kind of different things. And then you listen to dancehall music. Then, around carnival time, they have to learn the calypsos at the time and what have you, and perform those things. So I had a serious callaloo going on all the time, a serious mixture. So for me, okay, this mode of transportation has shut down.
Yeah.
Jump on the bus, the subway, walk, right? One way or the other, you're gonna get there. So that was my mentality.
Makes sense, man. Okay. So how you have a different, what the word I want to use here, boy? When it comes to patriotism, and I'm going with this. Your love for football, way. I never seen or heard an artist passion for football as much as you. So how you got into, or what made you decide? You know what? I love the game so much. I'm gonna I wanted to say focus, but we're gonna start with Fighter, which was what kicked off the gate, I would say.
Right.
Pretty much like a national anthem, damn near. How that whole thing came about?
Well, let's start from the beginning. My dad was busy a lot, right? When we all were living together. And the only day that he took rest, or what we call a rest, because when I got older, I realized that he never really took a day off.
Yeah.
But the only day that he could have really kicked back and relax and watch the television, it would be to watch English League football. It wasn't even the Premier League at the time.
Yeah.
Right? And that was the only time, or Italian League football.
Yeah.
Those were the days, glory days with Magadan and Schilacci and
them names.
Giuseppe Giannini and Burgamy and Klinsmann,
Yeah.
Lothar Matthias. I could call the whole list of players. I might lose some people on this podcast,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Because they only know who came yesterday,
Right.
right? So that was the whole genesis of this experience with me. I'll call it an experience.
Yeah.
So my dad and I, we used to sit down. We never used to say anything to each other
Just
while
watch
the game going on,
Yeah.
right? And we would just watch that game together. And then I would make some comments, and then he would look at me and realize, "Ooh, you're paying attention,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You know the game,
Mhm.
right? You're calling out plays and you're saying certain things like you're an analyst already, right?" And that was the whole beginning. And
Yeah.
then he saw me play football in the yard, and without telling me anything, a morning he woke me up a Saturday and say, "We're going to get our boots for you." I
Yeah.
realized we could play,
Yeah. Okay.
right?
Mm.
And because I understood the game, and he
Yeah.
saw me play the game.
Mm.
So within that, I met Ron Laffrey. If
Mm.
anybody know who Ron Laffrey is,
Mm.
this is my moment to educate you. This is one of the most decorated and loved footballers in Trinidad and Tobago's history.
Okay.
He's the first player to score in the National Stadium when it opened. The very first game, he's the first person to score a goal. And I met Ron Laffrey. We call him the professor. He's still alive and still
Okay.
involved in football.
Oh wow.
Coached many school teams,
Mm.
been around the world before we even knew what, to go outside of Trinidad and Tobago. He played in China,
Yeah.
played for the national team. And I met him when I was just a kid.
Mm.
After school, stopped by the field, saw this man with a Jerry curl gold teeth, juggling a football and smiling and talking while he doing with a grace and a flair.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I was like idolizing a local football player.
Wow.
Then after that came the strike squad.
Yeah, man.
So when I always tell the strike squad members, just a few days ago I was talking to Click Morris, was the captain at that time. We always stay in touch.
Yeah.
The whole Strike Squad Foundation, I want to show them how they're doing some really good things in terms of, helping the grassroots and, charities and stuff like that. They still go to schools. They still spread that positive message, even in their late 50s and 60s.
Okay.
Right?
That's nice to know, man.
And because they were my heroes, and I always express that to them,
Yeah.
I was immediately connected to football. So this is not something that I just do because it's something that will make me look popular, make me look patriotic. This is me.
Okay. Nice.
Right?
Nice.
This is me. So, on November 19th, when everyone, was disappointed with us not qualifying back in 1989, in a sense, I was inspired. Yes, I was sad. Yes, I was angry. But I was inspired because of what these guys did.
Yes.
Yes. How they unified Trinidad and Tobago. And I mean, we always say this. Everyone remembers November 19th. Nobody remembers November 16th. And that is the day we actually qualified for a World Cup.
Yeah.
That day passes and no one remembers that. And that is the reality.
That's true.
Everyone remembers November 19th.
Yeah.
And it is not so much the failure, the heartbreak, it's unity that took place before that fateful day and that game.
I remember.
So my connection to football in Trinidad and Tobago runs deep.
Yeah.
And it's unwavering, So with that being said, fast forward 16 years, I was called in and they asked me, based on the fact that I was wearing football jerseys, I had Picket Way, and I used to go to the school tour and kick off footballs. I went to Coca-Cola and I sat down and I said, listen, you all are the head sponsor of the school tour, right? I basically, love the game, support the game. I think this is something we should partner in. And they gave me all the remaining Coca-Cola footballs they had. I signed it. And I used to go to all these schools during the carnival season of that particular year
Yeah.
and give it out. So when the Trinidad and Tobago Football Federation at the time
Yeah.
realized that I was the only one, and besides that, I was a part of the opening ceremony for the Under-19 World Cup
Okay.
that came to Trinidad and Tobago, which featured Kenwin Jones and those guys and they back in the day. So with my connection to the sport through entertainment,
Yes.
I was a sure lock in terms of bringing him in and, asking him to compose a song. And that is where the whole fighter experience came.
Wow.
Yeah.
And do you realize that song would have been, well, two songs, soccer songs back then, or football songs, Fighter and Kick It Away. Did you realize them songs would have been like a staple in Trinidad for music and sports?
Fighter, yes. Kick It Away was something that I got the idea from, again, dancehall and reggae music. So it's like show me the hand that go Lash Satan, because I did a song called Lash Satan.
Yeah, Lash Satan. Yes.
I heard that from a reggae artist saying, show me the hand. If you go burn this or you burn that, So I said, all right, show me the hand that go Lash Satan. So I got inspired from different things, that I heard.
Yeah.
So Lash Satan came, and then Kick It Away was like, okay, if you say lash, then you can say kick, right? But what you're kicking away negativity, right? So those things came based on the fact that I always used to be thinking about what is a unique way to send a message. Also make people dance, celebrate, put their hands in the air, but also they learn something. They leave with some level of substance.
Yes. Not only that, man. In the Caribbean, especially in Trinidad, when it comes to soca, we big on words.
True that.
We big on words.
True that.
All right. Your song "Love Generation" was featured by EA Sports Cricket 2007. How the whole thing came about?
Again, Simon Baptiste, Question Mark Entertainment. Well, also Fighter was on the FIFA World Cup game as well.
Yes, that is true.
Right? So Fighter ended up on that game. So since we had that relationship with EA Sports at the time, Simon actually sent them Love Generation. And when they heard Love Generation, they fell in love with it.
Yeah.
So they used it for the ICC cricket game.
Yes.
Which was in a totally different region, because that was in the Oceanic region, England, Australia, New Zealand, that particular area, that region is heavily supportive of cricket.
Yeah.
So we sent it out there, and it did well, and it continues to be a song that is dear to me because when I went to the World Cup in 2006, I performed the song Love Generation. Of course, everyone went wild over Fighter, right? But that was the song that everyone would have known, and it would have been the right fit. But when I did Love Generation, I did it at Newmark Stadium in front of maybe 30,000 or more people, right? And when Roy Kip and the All Stars strike up, and people heard this song, after I performed, Iowa came up to me and he said, Maximus, where you get that song from, boy? I said, George, do you know that your station, Trini Bashment, is the first place I premiered this song and is playing this song? He said, serious? I said, yeah. I said, but I put it out outside of the carnival season, which is another thing that is synonymous with me.
Yes.
I am not afraid to put music outside of the perceived period that people will be receptive to local music.
Yes.
Right? Because myself and KMC, we always had that vision for putting on music all during the year, because we're looking at the global calendar, we're looking at R&B, hip-hop, dancehall, all these urban and major genres putting on music all the time.
Yes.
Right? And our neighbors right in Jamaica, they put it on music every day. Every week, you would have heard a brand new beanie or Bontu, right? And you'll be like, what are these guys doing? These guys working overtime. No, these guys, they are professionals. They're in the studio, right? This is how they produce music.
Yeah.
So we were inspired by that, and in a way, we tried to emulate that.
Okay.
Now, our industry would have been set up different, so there would have been challenges here and there.
Yeah.
And then right after the season concludes, artists go out to tour. So you know that the only way they're going to come back to record would have been in like May, June, July to get ready for the upcoming season.
Yes.
For us, it would have been, boy, let's go in the studio one time and just try to put out something right after Carnival. Put out something after like Easter. Put out something for August. So that we maintain that momentum.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that is how my brain continues to work up to this day.
It makes sense. Keep your brain sharp too,
Exactly. You go to the gym one day for the week, no results.
Yes.
You go to the gym 4 days for the week, more results.
Facts. Soca Train. Did you realize that song would have been that big?
Yeah. There's certain things that I wouldn't like to tell you.
Yeah.
First and foremost, it was a happy accident. Meaning, I went to London and I met one of the flight attendants at the time. All the way going up from Port of Spain to London, we just coming down in the back, we chatting.
Right.
So Max, when you reach, I know you have a show, I know this, that, but where you lining? We have a line on the weekend, by a friend of mine. And it so happened that we bounced up somewhere.
Yeah.
And he said, the line is tomorrow, XYZ address.
Right.
So we all went to line.
Yeah.
And where we went, the address was for one of the stalwarts, I would say, in media. A guy named Smokey.
Okay.
From out of London. Right? And he worked on BBC radio. And he was responsible for producing a few Calypsonians back in the day. Popular guy. Still continues to work with the young people as well in the music scene in London.
Nice.
So I went to his house, and me being like probably 22 or so.
Yeah.
And that day had a lot of experiences. So to have that experience at night was a relief, because during the day I had some challenges which I wouldn't go into. I remember that day like yesterday. So sitting down while they're having a conversation, again, me being me, the old man, young boy, right? Smokey looking at me this way while I'm speaking.
Right.
And then he pulled me aside. He said, young boy, let me tell you something. The way I hear you speak, you're way beyond your ears. So since that is the case, I want to introduce you to something.
Okay.
And he said, there's a song that I want you to do from the Mighty Shadow, to remake.
Yes.
He said, I'm going to give you a CD. I want you to listen to it when you get back home, right? And see what you could do with it. Because I think that you might be the best candidate for that.
Wow.
Saying thank you, took it, and I listened to the CD. While listening to the CD, man, if it have one good tune on this, it must have other good songs.
Yes.
So while just going down, I heard this train horn. I stop and I lean back.
Yeah.
And I just look up like this, so I shake my head. Smokey boy, you're gonna be disappointed in me, but I think this is the song here.
Yeah.
And it took me about a year or so to find the right producer. So when we did find the right producer, which is Ibo.
Okay.
Right. And Ibo, would have been one of greatest musician in the modern era, I would call, as a producer. Would have done Display for Fear and Lions, Focus, would have done Musical Jumbie for Scrunter, Mini Priest, Body Full of Water, Band of the Year, he would have had a contribution in that. So when you think about it, and then before that, I did Royal, I think I did, what else I did with the Order with Ibo. We had we already had a great relationship, So when I heard it, he said, so what you want to do? You want to modernize it or you want to keep it vintage? I said, let's keep it vintage. The
Yeah.
modernization would be me, right?
Yeah.
So let's try to keep the integrity of the music,
Yes.
which in a sense was a prelude to me becoming a music producer too.
Yes. Yes.
Because I always believe like if you're gonna do something vintage, don't mess with it that much to the point that it loses its substance,
Yeah.
right? The nostalgic feeling. So
Mm.
within that, we came up with this beautiful balance of me being the modern and we try to keep the music as authentic as Clive Bradley did it.
Yes.
So the day it was released, in the morning, by nighttime, people was calling it a runaway hit.
Yeah.
Because it was familiar but still unfamiliar. And that's
Yeah.
the thing with me.
Mm.
People have always asked me, so why you never do another remake? Why you don't remake this or remake that? I say, well, I'm a selector.
Yeah. Yeah.
I am a selector.
Mm.
I can't wait for the dub for dub.
Yeah.
You can play all the big, or you can play all the big tune in the front.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I don't hear no Errol Dunkley
Yeah. Yeah.
in the last round, a Uton Green,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? If I don't hear them old songs,
Mm.
you ain't no type of song,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? So for me, you had to dig deep in the dub box for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when I found that song, I realized it was a gem.
Mm.
And then I spoke with Uncle Gypsy. I said, Uncle Gypsy, I think I'm gonna redo Soca Train. And he said, all right. You know, he said, well, you know that song? Because it was a song that basically kind of, I wouldn't say was forgotten, but you know, because so much great music comes out, it's
Right.
easy to forget how many great songs came before.
Yes, true. That is true.
So when that song came out, it went straight to the top. And arguably, I think it's one of the biggest remakes in soca culture.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
know, period.
You can't go a good fit on here Soca Train, man. I mean, that's a classic. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So, how you decided to get into producing? I know you really got more deep into creating your own sound. I know you got the drops and so forth, and all
Yeah.
these things. How you got into that?
Well, I was always a producer. You know, I just didn't know it.
Yeah.
You know, I would go to the studio and I would have discussions with producers while they're working on the tracks and stuff like that. And many suggestions I would make, they would just look at me like, yeah, that's a cool idea. Let's try it.
Yeah.
Only the mature ones would think that particular way.
Yeah.
If it's about ego, you would clearly define your line. You're the artist and the producer. Please allow me to produce. Or sometimes if I want something changed, I will let you go all the way. Let me hear your let me see your idea to fruition.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you walk in the room when someone is creating something and it sounds like garbage.
Yeah.
Right? Or you want to know where they're going with this, and then you come back a half an hour later and like, woo, what is this? So for me, it's never good to stop a producer while he's in his workflow.
Okay.
So I would allow the producer to just go, and then ask me. Then they would ask me, so what do you think? And I would say, well, these are the things that I like. These are the things that I like. I like this idea.
Yeah.
You know, how about if we merge this part to this part? And how about if we add, because I'm hearing something, and then they would realize, okay, right? He didn't say he didn't like it.
Yeah.
He spoke about the parts that he liked and that are good and how we could make it better. So for me, I was always about how we could make this track sound better or more finished or more meaningful as to what, the messages in the music. How could we create that variation? How could we create that bounce, right?
Yeah.
Because production is not like, all right, we just knock up a beat and you sing on it and that's that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of moving parts, sitting down, sometime listening to a riff or a chord structure and saying, okay, you need to move this part here, or we need to carry this up a octave or a semitone. it's a lot of things that encompasses being a music producer. It's not just being an accomplished musician. It's about taking parts and just making this lock and be unique to sell the product that and to create the emotion and invoke that emotion that you want the client, your audience, whoever they may be, to feel at the time with this particular track. So for me, it was like understanding what the production or producing culture is before you enter into it.
Yes.
So I tell people I enjoy being in studio more than being on stage.
Yeah.
Because the fight, maybe a better word I need to use, but the struggle to get the music to really and truly make sense. Right? Because I mean, the song is the songwriting it's more or less the same thing.
Yeah.
But when you get that music to feel good, along with your melody and your lyrics and your charisma, whatever you try to portray, whether it's joy, whether it's pain, whether it's whatever emotion it is, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
I don't really think about it from the aspect of how much place you mash up and how much hands you get in the air. It's how you made people feel when you press play. And that drum roll, or that bass line, or that guitar, right? Or that saxophone, whatever you played that just made everybody like, woo. So we really had to rate the producers out there who really put in the time and the effort to ensure that the music is done in the way that they need it to be done. Yeah?
Nice. So you also did radio. How you got into the whole radio thing?
By accident.
Yeah.
By accident. I was late for an interview. Like an interview just like this,
Well, not to be fair, it wasn't really late. Trust me, I have words, but you were good to go, man. But go ahead.
So when I was like I left home early.
Yeah.
But that Friday morning, and had so much traffic all over the place. And when I reached Port of Spain, the shift that I was supposed to be on, which was between the hours between 8:30 and 9, I missed my time. So I called the radio station, the manager at the time, and I said, Uncle Glenn, I don't think I'll be able to make the interview. He said, that's okay. Where are you? I said, I am currently on Independence Square.
Right.
And they were higher up, upper Port of Spain, which was on Abercrombie Street.
Yeah.
So it probably could have been like a 5-minute drive, but not that morning.
Right.
That morning it looking like 20, 30 minutes because it was gridlock traffic.
Yeah.
So he said, when you get up here, don't worry. As I got in, the guys who were supposed to interview me were looking at me like, boy, you missed the interview, boy. We were waiting for you. This, that. Real nice banter at the end of the day, right? No hard feelings because they understood.
Right.
But the following shift from 9 to 12 featured Kevin Baker and Beats by Robin.
Okay.
Freestyle Friday.
Yeah.
So I came in. These guys, always welcome me with open arms. And they said, all right, Max, you're lineman today.
Right.
So when they lineman, they would turn on the mic. And they would ask me, so where you take this, that.
Right.
Everyone knows that I already have that type of DJ sound.
Yes.
Right? With, drops and all these. And then again, they understand that, Max can do this.
Yes.
We've been doing ads, he's been doing this. We heard them already, mic already. I used to mic for songs and all these different things. Club Coconuts on a University Tuesday. I used to mic and all them. So people really don't know what I can do.
Yes.
They only see me as, well, boy, there's a soca man. And when Carnival come, you can't show me the same pot with everybody. I can mix in different pots. Right? So, with that being said, they gave me a script to read because they run an instrumental and it was Carnival time and it's all right. So they advertising different events, army, this, that. So they gave me a couple of scripts.
Yeah.
And Baker said live on here, up next, we're going to do some ads, some live ads. and we're gonna get MX Prime
To do
to
it.
do a couple of reads for
Yeah.
us live on air.
Yeah.
So I was like, bro, I don't want to mess up the people thing. This is radio here. This is people money, right?
True.
He said, nah, man, you gonna be all right.
Real quickly, I'm glad you mentioned that, because that is one of my pet peeves, when it comes to radio, man. When guys reading ads and just taking it for joke now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Talking and in pronouncing the words properly. People pay for this thing, man.
Correct is right. Correct is right.
Yeah.
The client is very important.
Yes.
So for me, I was like, I don't want to make this a happy show, bro, because these are people who pay the hundred or thousand of dollars,
Yeah,
to get results. He said, no, man, you will be all right. And when I read the scripts, Robin looking at me like if I did something like real amazing. But Robin now so calm, kind of remind me like you, don't really show emotion that much,
Okay.
just real relaxed,
Yeah.
and reserved. So he look at me like, and right after that, the door opened. It was the radio station manager.
Okay.
Wow. And he said to me, I realized like it sounded like you want to work here.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's how I ended up on radio.
Wow.
From being late to being on time.
Well, you know what, man? Opportunities come in many different ways, You just have to be prepared,
Correct is right.
Yeah.
For me, it was like that morning I was so disappointed in myself for being late, but God had another plan. Right. And then he put this opportunity right in front of me.
Right.
And it was up to me to say, I don't want to be in radio, or I don't think this is going to work. And at first I was like, I don't know how this is going to work.
Yeah.
But surely enough, I showed up, I committed, and for 3.5 years I was on radio. And I must say that it was one of the best moves that I made in my professional life.
Yes.
Because MX Prime basically came to the fore being on radio.
Yes.
Because a new generation who probably didn't even know anything about Maximus.
Yes.
Right? They were into MX Prime. Yes. And because of the DJ culture drops, these different type of things, so many young DJs across Trinidad and Tobago and parts of the region and also internationally reach out all the time for me to do those pull-ups and those different things because of hearing me on the radio doing it live.
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm. Again, it's all about using your talent, in the specific areas to their strengths. Yes. So for me, I was never an individual that come out and boast and tell people, well, I could do this and I could do that. No, I would show you, right? And I was never afraid to express myself because I'm a creative. An artist is someone who is expressive. And not all the time your art is going to make sense to everybody.
Yeah.
You learn that along the way. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it may be ignored, underappreciated, or misunderstood, or because you're not doing what everyone expects you to do. Mm-hmm. It's like if you're a chef, you may have a specialized dish.
Yeah.
But you can cook a wide array of food.
Yes.
So one day you might show people, well, everyone knows me as a baker, but I can actually cook, and and that was the opportunity to show people that I could cook.
Yeah. Did it very, very well also. Ultimate Rejects. How that whole concept came about.
It came out of a life experience. Everyone gets rejected at some point in time. Right? In our case, Yuan and I, we've known each other for over 20 years.
Yes.
But I met Yuan when I was 17. So that's a long time.
Yeah.
And he was cell construction, which everyone in Trinidad and Tobago would know, one of the biggest sound systems.
Big sound.
Right? Legendary sound. And at the time, he was just coming off of radio.
Yes.
to go into music production.
Mm.
Now, his dad was a live engineer, right? And a fix-it man, an electrician technician, as we call them in Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah.
So he could fix it all. He could, take something apart and make it better.
Yeah.
Right? So he was born in the environment where frequency and sound came like second nature to him. So he could hear when something was phasing. He could hear when something was humming. When the natural man ain't know, hey, I ain't hearing that because you grew up around someone who is a certified engineer.
Yeah, true.
So you would take up those particular traits and carry it to the next level, which is what you want did, right? And he was coming over radio. He said, I'm going into music production. And I was just coming off of the whole World Cup high.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, bro, if there's no better time for you to really actually start experimenting with different sounds that you want to express.
Yeah.
So within that, we said, okay, let's use me as a guinea pig. Create stuff, we're gonna write, we're gonna put it out.
Yeah.
Every time we put it out, we will get, different type of comments. It's good, but where? It's good, but I don't think we can play it.
Yeah.
It's good, but I don't think people will like it.
Yeah.
It's good, but I think everybody will think you're all going mad. It's good, but you keep getting that. It's good,
but what was it? The song? It was just different.
That's the whole sound of it. It was it at the time it was like light years ahead.
Yeah.
Right. Which is the role of a pioneer without even trying to be a pioneer.
Yeah.
Right. You ain't trying to be a pioneer. You just being you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So people who came up with the synthesizer and the vocoder and all these different things, they were considered to be weird too. Right. A man who tell you, well, just now people gonna be talking on something in the palm of their hand. He was weird too.
Yeah, true.
Right? Who believe in satellites and stuff like that. They were weird too.
Yeah.
So not trying to put ourselves in the same category as those genius. But at the same time, it starts with you believing and doing something that is unconventional or seemingly so.
Yeah.
Right? I don't think that will work. When you tell me I don't think it's gonna work, I'd be like, okay, let's see if we can make it work.
Yeah.
It may not work the way I want it to work, but it may work, right? With some tinkering, with some tweaking, And every time we came with something, we would hear, it's good, but. And that form of rejection just made us always go back to the drawing board, tweak, and come again.
Yeah.
So because of that brotherhood in the struggle, brotherhood in a struggle is different from brotherhood when everybody happy.
Yeah, that is true. That's a good point.
Right? Because when you struggle as brothers coming up, you don't forget that.
Yeah.
Right? It connects you for a lifetime. No matter where you may be. I might be in Antarctica and you might be in Timbuktu.
Yeah.
But because of that experience, that struggle, we are brothers forever. And because of that experience that we had, when in the studio 6:30 in the evening and coming out 4 or 5 in the morning, and to be told that this ain't good enough. This weird.
Yeah.
This Max going mad.
Yeah.
That kind of things that you're hearing. Right? But one thing I don't want mad people, they don't age like other people. All the same people looking old right now. All the same people I know, they're looking old right now. And all the mad people, somehow they're like, they don't want to age. So I'd rather be mad.
Yeah.
And within that experience, we said, okay, let's make a group. Let's break this is what we're doing here, but we just call ourselves a group.
Yeah.
And within that, you and I, we thrown a couple names, and I said, how about Rejects United? You say, I love it. Because it kind of sounds like a football name to it.
Yeah.
Right? And then came off the phone, and then I call him back. And I say, ultimate rejects. He said, love that.
Yeah.
So I love that. He say, I love the sound of it.
Right.
It will immediately get attention.
Yes.
And the name was chosen based on the struggles that we had. And we will continue to have once we forge ahead and dare to be different. And dare to challenge ourselves to be different. Because there's no challenge without change. There's no change without a challenge.
Facts.
Right?
Facts.
If I can't do one more push-up, I do 3.
Yeah.
Just because I can't do the one more, I will attempt 3. Because I have to push myself past my threshold.
Yes.
I urge my son to do the same thing. Push yourself past your threshold. You believe that this is as far as you could go, push yourself much further. You don't walk to the finish line.
Yeah.
You sprint. You go all out.
Yeah.
Right? You don't leave anything in the tank. And so for me, when I sit down to do music, yes, we understand that, okay, this is the audience. This is what sonically that they're accustomed to, this particular sound. So we don't wanna move too far away from that, because in hindsight, we moved in a direction that would have been perceived too far away from what they were accustomed to.
Yeah.
Right? But in order for us to be able to understand how to create that balance in engineering, if you want to balance your bass and your kick, you don't start with your bass low.
Yeah.
You start with your bass at the highest, and then you bring it down, bring it down, bring it down, bring it down until it locks with the kick frequency.
Yeah.
Right? Same thing with the kick. You don't start with the kick low, you carry it to the extreme, and then you bring it down to balance. So with us creating music, we have to go to the extreme, and then bring it back in where we can find a proper balance. So that is how we found the balance in our music for people to, quote unquote, accept it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Wow. You realize that song would have been that big, man?
I had no clue.
Yeah.
Had no clue. Had no clue. It took me about 6 months to build the beat.
Yeah. Yeah,
right.
At the beginning with the drums, and it catch you. That's what the song comes on. It's vibes, you know. That energy.
Yeah. You know, when you're listening it for 6 months straight, it's not like someone who would come and hear it one time.
That's true. You get used to it.
So you just fed up on this because you're working on it for 6 months. And then eventually, when all the music was done, that's when the song came.
Wow.
The song came right after the very last piece of music was added. And I must say, when I went to Yuan to more or less audition it for him, right? He said, "Bro, you don't understand. People dead." That was it. That was his response. He said, "People dead."
Yeah.
He said, "There is nothing like this out there, and I don't think there's going to be anything like this coming." Because it was so different and it was so easy on the ears and was refreshing. You know? For me, it was like, brother, are you serious? Because for me, there's something I'm working on personally. Sometimes, you know, we don't really have a belief in our work that it will do the great things that it's supposed to do. You know, many times you have to be convinced by others that, hey, this one, when you yourself should have that belief, that core belief. That I'm putting my best work out there, and whether it, you know, does what it's supposed to do, whether it be financially or externally, right? This is your best work until something better comes along.
Yes.
Right? So when that record came out and exploded, there was no fear to try to repeat that because I know the highs and lows.
Yes.
Right? Sugar Ray Leonard lost a fight. Thomas Hearns lost a fight. Marvin Hagler lost a fight. Muhammad Ali lost a fight. Michael
Yeah.
Jordan has lost games.
Yeah.
Right? He may not have lost any finals, but he lost a lot of games.
Yes.
Right? Some of the biggest and best have been losers. There's no bigger path to winning than losing.
Yes.
So when that song became what it was and it's time to go back to the drawing board, we had to take that out of our mind and realize that, hey, Michael Jackson a Thriller.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing bigger than Thriller.
Yeah.
But he kept on recording.
True.
So you had to keep on recording until something else, comes out, and it may not be in the same range, the same space. That's just music.
Yeah.
Right? For the common, avid fan, or, keyboard warrior, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
They would do the assessment and say, whether you fail or you pass or whatever. Again, we're in the public domain, so these things will happen.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
But for me personally, I know that every night that I went out there to perform, it wasn't the same response that you got. It might have been somewhat in the same range, but you don't always get people to dance. You don't always get people to put their hands in the air.
Yeah.
Right? And there are different factors for that. You may come on 4 o'clock in the morning when people out there since 10 at night.
Yeah. True.
Right? What would be recorded was that you didn't move the audience.
Yeah.
But nobody would say the reason why the audience wasn't moved. There are different factors.
Yes.
Rain probably came down. Everyone run and they in the tents.
Yeah. Yeah.
People tired. There are different reasons for things happening. Nevertheless, you have to keep it moving and stay positive.
Facts.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. All right. So let's talk about your new project, man. You got I guess this is your first, was it 100% football songs on this project?
Yeah.
How you decided to come up with this whole concept?
Well,
kick it off, right? Kick off. The name of that.
Kick Off.
Yeah.
So Kick Off is an album that comprises of football anthems that I realized that needed to be added to my catalog.
Yes.
Why so? Because everyone knows about the support that I have, given to the game locally, right? Especially with the national team. And also sport in general. I'm the type of person that I'm a sporting enthusiast.
Yes.
I would always support, different sporting initiatives, whether it be cycling, whether it be cricket. A couple of years ago, I was invited by the West Indies president to come to watch India play the West Indies and at the Queen's Park Oval with the Test cricket.
Yes.
And so sporting bodies recognize me.
Yes.
Because of the music that I produce, the positive nature, and also physically being in those spaces.
Yes.
So Kick Off came from one idea I had, which was to do another anthem for the Soca Warriors.
Okay.
Trinidad and Tobago men's team, or national team, I should say. Comprised, where could it have the women's team and have the men's team? So I shouldn't say the men's team, right? And that was a couple of years back, maybe a year and a half or so. So I said, okay, do something for those for the shirt, for the flag. Especially World Cup is coming up.
Yeah.
Let's see what we could do. So within that idea, I came up with a song called Straight to the Goal.
Yes.
And Straight to the Goal was completed, but there are a few things that I wanted to fix in it. So I went back, a couple of times to do some revisions, which is something that producers do. They will listen to a song again before it's released. And if there's no imminent timeline, you could sit down and say, okay, I'm going to tweak this, tweak that, upgrade this, try this, different things. So that was being done.
Yes.
Within that, I got another idea from another song.
Okay.
And then I said, hold on. How about if you do a football EP?
Yeah.
This is you.
Right.
You ain't faking this.
Yeah.
This is you.
True.
Right? Other people People will be artists will be known for other things, but this is you.
It's not a surprise,
right?
Yeah.
So it's all right. Let me do a football EP. So we got 35 songs. Then another song came, and a couple more. So I said, hold on, there's no longer EP, there's an album.
Yes.
Right? And then I said, okay, let me get in contact with someone in football that is legit, that people will give this a certificate of authenticity.
Yes.
And that would have been Shaka Hislop.
Legend.
So I messaged Shaka, and it took him like maybe a couple of hours. He said, what we done, partner?
Yeah.
And I explained him the whole scenario. And he said, anything for you, bro. And he did the intro, the halftime, and the full-time synopsis for the album.
Wow.
So this project is not only just for Trinidad and Tobago football. This is for regional football, right? Because when you listen the context of the album and the songs and the sound of it, it is Caribbean-esque, but also global.
Yeah, that
right?
Global feel to it. I listened to some of the songs, man. And it definitely has a. When I heard a song that said this is an international type song, because a lot of people can relate to like I said, once again, words they can relate to it. Meet me at the stadium.
Yep.
All these things, and you travel, so when you go to these games, that's the vibe.
Correct is right. I mean, what we try to do is take that Caribbean backbeat with a global message and incorporate the different influences that I see at the games. I've experienced because I went to a World Cup. I understand, what is the atmosphere in the stadium while your team is playing. The different things that happen, the things that people don't pay attention to. Right? The look on a person's face when the anticipation of a goal. Or for or against. Right? When you think about my team going home. Right? Or after the match, where we go online, where we gonna hang out. So I did a song called Final Whistle, which speaks on that. Right after the match. Going by the pub, going by the bar, we in a winning mood. Right? So DJ run some winning tunes, So it incorporates that vibe that is for real fans and supporters and patriots. There's a song called My Country, My Flag. Right? So, these are the things that, when not just fans of football, but people in general, who love their country, love their culture, when they're representing, they would respond positively to these messages, these calls to action, more or less. So Kickoff is an album that I believe that has a lot of legs on it, just like a millipede or a centipede, right? This is an album that has a lot of legs on it. So I released it now, going into World Cup qualification and also to the FIFA World Cup. I've sent the some of the songs and the album to the DJs who actually play at stadia across, North America and Europe.
Nice.
Right? Wow. I track down those guys on the gram and just start, spamming them, more or less.
Yeah.
You have to let them know. Again, goes back to what I said. Sometimes we as creatives and people on a whole don't have the confidence to sell ourselves, right? To sell our product, to say, this is what I have. I think you should hear it. I think you should know about it.
Yes.
And I had to step out of my comfort zone and say, hey, you're going to do this.
Yes.
You have to reach out to these people because you don't want to be that guy sitting down saying, shoulda, coulda, woulda, and you didn't.
Yeah, man. You're talking to me right now, Yeah, man, that's facts. That's facts, man. That's facts. I definitely appreciate the fact that like I said, I know when I talk to you, I know I get some very motivational, inspirational, words and quotes and so forth, so not just for myself, but for young folks as well. Like, everyone to listen to the podcast.
Yeah, man. I was told these things from quite early, right? And what you hear in your youth in your coming up, it should be a part of your foundation.
Yes.
So you could always revert back to that page, right? That lesson in the archives that you overheard or was said directly to you.
Yes.
Believe in yourself, right? Push yourself. The best ability to have is availability. Make yourself available. And all the other abilities will come together.
Yeah.
Sometimes you may say yes to something that you don't even know that you're capable of doing, but because you were there, you made yourself available to say, yes, I can do this job.
Yes.
Yes is the first thing. So when they realize that you're willing, then it's all about being able to back up what you said you could do.
Yes. Facts. Wow. All right, boys. So this part of the podcast is pretty much one of my favorite parts of the podcast. A couple years ago, I wrote this book called 2000 Questions About Me. So what I'm going to do, or this is what I typically do, I'm going to give you an opportunity to pick a number from 1 to 2000. And the number that you pick is going to be the question that's going to be asked out of this book.
Right.
All right. So your call.
30.
30?
Yeah.
All right. Let me see. Boom, 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 boom. 30. All right. Here we go. Where did that? All right. Here we go. 30. All right. Do you like watching reruns?
Oh yeah.
I
like watching reruns because what it's like reruns are like revision.
Yes.
Right. So for me, like if I listen to a song over even after it's released, there's a different way I listen opposed to when I was putting it together.
Yes.
So I listen it now to enjoy it, and I listen it now to say, okay, you may have made a little misstep here, or the kick could have been louder, right? The chorus could have been a little bit different. So you use that rerun and that revision to help you chart a way forward.
Makes sense. Well, Mr. Edgehill Thomas, aka MX Prime, I just want to say thank you so much, man, for not just taking time out the busy schedule, but contributions to the art and culture. I mean, over the years, I've been a fan. I've watched your progression over the years, and it's definitely been motivating and inspiring, not just to myself, but I'm sure to a number of people worldwide. So I definitely want to give you flowers, man, and show my thanks and appreciation.
Thank you very much for having me. Mondays are quite tricky sometimes, because it's the beginning of the work week.
Yes.
So I was a little bit, frazzled this morning because I woke up a little bit late. I did some Tai Chi. There's something that I added to my regiment now.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. So I started about maybe 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it's something that relaxes me. And then when you get to that time in your life, we wake up with a lot of stiffness, a lot of aches and pains, mobility issues.
Yeah.
We have become a people that just sitting down whole day.
Yeah, that is true.
Rather than getting up and walking. So that is one of the contributing factors to us having lower back pain, lack of mobility, all other issues. So I said, okay, start your day right, giving the body back something. And the mind as well. So, that was the reason for the tardiness, because I had to ensure that there's no compromise when it comes to taking care of yourself. There should not be any compromise in taking care of yourself.
Yes. No worries, man. I appreciate that, man. Like I said, hey, it was about 5 minutes, and no worries, man. No big deal, but I definitely appreciate that, though.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, much love, much success, man. Oh, what's your predictions for World Cup? I mean, you plan on going to any games? Or?
Well, my prediction for Trinidad and Tobago and qualifying for the World Cup, I think that our biggest threat, challenge would be Curacao.
Okay.
You hear me say today?
Yeah.
Curacao is the team that we need to focus
Curacao?
on. Yep.
Yeah.
Curacao is number 85 in the rankings. We are 100 or 101.
Wow.
Right? That's the first thing.
Yeah.
We are ignoring all the other teams that are secretly or quietly getting better.
Yeah.
Right? We have to go up against Jamaica. Tough customer as always.
Yes.
But we know Jamaica. We don't know Curacao.
Yeah, I shocked when I said Curacao. I wouldn't think, but you're right though. You might think it's Curacao is just a little small team, but that's a good point you just made there. What's the ranking again?
Pardon me?
What's their ranking again?
85.
85. Wow.
Yeah. So they have leapfrogged us in CONCACAF.
Yeah.
Right. And in world in world rankings, they're 85. 85 in the world ain't that bad, and you have never been to a World Cup.
Yeah. I mean, hey, China was in the World Cup, Let me forget it.
Right. So we need to need to focus on locking in and making sure that we at least beat Curacao on September the 5th. And nothing else but a draw in Curacao.
Yeah.
And then everything else we could negotiate from there.
Right.
But I think this is the best opportunity that we will have.
Yeah.
Because we don't have to play the 3 host nations. We don't have to play Mexico, Canada, or the US.
Yes.
But because of that, it's going to be more competitive. Because everyone would believe that they have an opportunity. Even Bermuda is in the same group as us.
Wow.
For them to get there, they have to beat a lot of big teams.
Yeah.
So for Bermuda to get to this final round, it means that their football has improved.
Yes.
So everyone is chomping at the bit to get to World Cup 2026.
Wow. Well, it could get working out ESPN and
I'm thinking like I'm gonna do like Snoop Dogg and Kevin Hart.
Hey.
Right? And do something like that, let them run a podcast.
Yeah.
You see how you said?
Yeah.
Right? You put it out into the atmosphere.
Yeah.
So that is what we need to do. We need to send out that positive vibration. Another thing that what we don't do, we will see the potential of someone else.
Yes.
And not mention certain things to them.
I like that. I like how you said that. Fact.
Because in a way, it's like if I put him onto this, he or she may surpass me.
Yeah.
And that is a problem that we have.
Yeah.
So the same way you can say, boy, I think you should, ESPN, they should run that would be great. That would be fantastic,
Yeah.
And it would bring that humorous Caribbean side, entertainment side. You never know. It's a whole month of football. It could get wild.
Yeah.
You bring on guests. You bring on past players. Have different kind of things going on, giveaways, all trivia, all these type of things. You never know.
Yes. Wow. Well done.
If not, we do it ourselves.
Yep. And I think that's a good point. Can't wait. Just do it.
Yeah, because sometimes you're waiting on the bigger companies, right? And they already have their things set. So why can't we do it?
Yeah.
So
MX Prime, man, give thanks for your time. Much appreciation, much love.
Blessings all the time, my brother. I appreciate it.
All right, guidance.
No.
Yes, man.
Love.